Ivan Matyushenko versus Alizhan Muratov.
I want Matyushenko to win, but I think Alizhan wins. I think he's the Davit Samushia of the left hand.
Rino Masic versus Ibragim Sagov.
I'm impressed with Sagov. I think he's in the top of his weight class. Sagov's press is phenomenal, and he's even one category heavier than when we pulled. I think Sagov wins that easily. I wouldn't be surprised if he wins every single round.
Devon Larratt versus Oleg Petrenko.
I don't think that 20-pound weight cut, getting down to 105 kilograms, will affect Devon much. I think he's going to be as good. Devon's not really a brute power arm wrestler anyway. He's more of a positional hand control type guy. He doesn't really smash people. Devon's matches are long, technical, and all about positioning. I think Devon's the favorite, but I think Oleg's got probably the best shot at beating him at this weight. I think Oleg wins round 1 because Devon usually loses round 1. It usually ends pretty quickly, and then Devon tightens up his shoulder, stops it, and turns into that goofy little hook, press, high hook, whatever that Devon move is called. And then he stretches the match way out. Oleg's going to attack and go after Devon. If Petrenko can duplicate round 1 2 or 3 times in a row, he's got a shot. But I think the betting odds on Devon are probably 60%, 70%.
Irakli Zirakashvili versus Georgi Tautiev.
I know a little bit of Tautiev. I'm still going with Irakli. I just think Irakli's built a nest in that weight class. It's going to be hard to pry him out of there. So I think Irakli wins, but I don't know whether it's convincing or not.
Oleg Zhok versus Betkili Oniani.
I think Betkili has a very good chance, but I don't bet against Oleg. My predictions are not based on science. A lot of them are based on who I want to win or my friends.
Davit Samushia versus Vladimir Mayorov.
I think Davit Samushia wins every match for the next 5 years. I think he becomes the East versus West's best legend. I think he ends up with a 50-0 record. I do not think that guy can get beat.
Artur Makarov versus Omer Kozakoglu.
I like Arthur. I think he's going to win.
Dimitrina Petrova versus Carolina Pettersson.
I know both of those girls. I think Dimitrina is stronger and maybe a more accomplished arm wrestler, but I think Carolina beats her. I think Carolina will figure out how to beat that hook, win that match, even though I think Dimitrina is favored.
Vitaly Lalatin versus Georgi Zeranov.
I think Vitaly has untapped potential. I just don't think he performs as good as he could. I think Georgi wins, and I think Georgi wins convincingly. Vitaly does not arm wrestle as good as he should, considering how big he is. I'm not criticizing him, I'm just saying you've got all the tools to be better. I think Vitaly should be in the top 2 of the super heavyweights. I think Georgi beats Vitaly.
Michael Todd versus Gennady Kvikvinia.
In America, we all want Michael Todd to win, but in their last match, Michael Todd's King's move was just not effective. Gennady was very comfortable with it, wasn't worried about it. Michael Todd needs a completely different attack against Gennady than the last time they pulled. If Michael Todd doesn't completely change, if he doesn't top roll and tries to King's move or press Gennady, Gennady's going to win. I don't think Michael's problem with Gennady is strength or power. I think it's technique. I never believe arm wrestlers when they tell how strong they are or how weak they are, because all arm wrestlers lie about that. If an arm wrestler says he's 85%, that means he's like 105%. About the videos Michael's posting of his training, I don't see him training back pressure posting and hand control. I don't think he needs to improve his King's move, but this might be the ultimate sandbag. I think Gennady is a heavy favorite unless Michael Todd shows up with some impressive Travis Bagant-style top roll. I think Michael Todd's capable of winning, but he can't do the exact same thing he did last time.
Todd Hutchings versus Yoshi Kanai.
My preparation is going very well. Every other week, I'm setting a new PR. I'm doing a lot of work capacity and endurance training. I'm getting stronger in the same way I always have. Good programming and staying healthy. The best version of Yoshi Kanai would be a real challenge for me. The guy who is beating Tim Bresnan, Ron Bath, and younger ones, Michael Todd and John Brzenk. He's incredibly tough if you let him get his wrist high and set his shoulder. So my game plan is not to let him get his shoulder in. I'm not going to test his side pressure early on. I want his arm coming across the pads with his hand more in the center of the table with me, doing more back pressure. I want to keep his arm stretched out use back pressure and a top roll to keep him uncomfortable. It's an honor for me to pull Kanai. I think we'll slip pretty easily. I like the straps. I probably have more reach than he does, and I have experience with the East versus West format. This is my best chance to beat him after 6 years away from the sport. Arm wrestling has evolved in that time, and it takes time to adjust to the higher level. A year from now, if he sticks around, it'll be a different story. But right now, I like my chances.
Nugzari Chikadze versus Ogujan Kochak.
I didn't watch more than the first round of Nugzari versus RVJ, and that's only because someone told me Nugo mentioned my name at the end. I don't know much about Kochak.
Irina Gladkaya versus Brigitta Ivanfi.
I've seen Irina pull a few times, but I have a hard time with female arm wrestlers. There's not enough consistency for me to judge.